We're back.
And the moral of the story is please don't touch the carpet.
Yes.
Have you seen Stuart's famous shirt?
Think of the carpet.
Made by production of Picard, kind of.
Yes.
Abstract, that is true. because season 3. Hello, Stuart. Welcome to this week. Greetings.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I'm tired as F today. Laid down about an hour and a half ago for a minute and woke up literally 20 minutes ago.
And now you're on the internet.
Yep. Lucky me.
That's commitment.
Yeah. We're missing some text at the top of our screen, I think.
Was there a second ago?
Oh, just black on the live.
That's weird. It was there. Anyway, what are we doing today?
Well, if you don't know, you shouldn't be here because there's a title and thumbnail. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's like you've been here because the tail. Yeah, but you know what? Maybe some people don't realize the bleeding obvious.
Yeah. In this world today, yeah, you're right. So anyway, yeah, season 3. Viewer's Choice, season 3, TNG. You guys tell us the episodes, we talk about them, rank them, discuss them, revisit them, and it should be fun, interesting discussion.
We've already seen so we did season 1, season 2. We've seen it skew and slant up. I think Fed say the zeitgeist that this is the best, the season now getting where it needs to be, and so this season it might suddenly have higher scores. We'll find out. And when we start truly breaking down the season, what will we find? Because maybe it won't have quite as many good ones. We might have a few exceptional, but not so many mediums. We don't know. So it's up to you guys to help us out. And if some don't get on the lineup, that's a shame. So help us scale 26 on there by supporting if you can. And Stuart, as you said, there's a thing on the top. I said double whammy today. My God.
Yeah, $30 for either one of us to change into it says season 1 uniform. But
I will change that as well. I didn't realize I clarified.
Into a TNG uniform.
Yes, we've now evolved into the proper uniform, which means we can evolve into a more comfortable uniform. Actually, I've got 2. I've got my blue and I've got my red, so you can pick blue or red. I pulled out the red just in case.
I just have red because Captain.
Yes. If you're that ridiculous one to do, or want me to do both blue and red, thanks.
That'd be awesome.
I know it's crazy, but thanks. Yeah. And it's kind of fun. Obviously, that's why we're doing it.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, it's up to you guys. This is a viewer's choice, so you guys get to lead the way, as it were. It is $5 minimum because there's a certain number of episodes. So if you can, please do. I already have a few in, which is great.
And it is fun also because we make you guys pick the order. We can't just go in order of the season. It helps to kind of I like the randomness, the jumbleness of it a little bit, especially if you can choose three bad ones in a row, 2 bad ones, etc., etc. Right, I'll start showing soon.
Alrighty. Hit the like button, guys, if you're just joining us. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you click the notification bell icon to all. You guys know all of this already, though. Also, there is a option down there to join the channel here on YouTube, and you can do that, or you can head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. That's another way to support us on a monthly basis. We appreciate it all, and we want to see you guys be part of our team, part of our crew, have your own ships, be assigned to ships, do all the fun things. So consider it and do what you can. We appreciate it. And you, of course, obviously. And also, during this live, you guys do get to pick the episodes that we talk about from season 3, so feel free to do so. And yeah. Also, there are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store, so make sure that you check those out and maybe pick yourself up some cool merch, either Trekyards or otherwise. There's always lots of cool stuff there, so lots of ways to help and support, and we really appreciate anything and everything you guys can do. Just being here is great. Have a conversation with us in the regular chat or super chat in your thoughts. See if the episode you wanted to pick is gone. Let us know your thoughts on it. Super chat in.
So what we're saying is, if you want a Bugsy episode,
sure.
That's the time, right? So as ever, I ask you, what do you associate season 3 being? When you know, it's like the ink splot. Season 3 TNG, you say
it gets better.
Right.
This is the season where things start to improve. Now you're gonna ask me this for every season, and
Yes.
there's nothing to say after this point because it's all just good after this. So I'm not gonna have any delineation of what I think of per episode. So
so
putting that out there now.
So
Next time you ask, I'm gonna give you shit for it.
So seasons 4 to things, but basically aren't seasons. They're just continuations of season 3. In essence, there's nothing between them.
No, season 4 is where it's solidly good. This has a few stinkers in it still.
I'm interested to see when we get to season 7, because we all know it gets average, then below average. Because also, if you set an average, you're obviously going to go below the average, right? So definitionally, interested to see where that lines up.
Yes. What do you think when you see season 3?
There's a new crispness of everything, as if they got not necessarily new cameras, but I mean, it's also the part of the color grade of the mask. It's just really clean and straight, nice. The uniforms are nicer. The lighting's been refined. It just has a refinement across the board. They clearly took stock when they were changing all the uniforms and also the phasers. There's a lot of money they just threw in to update the production design. And I think they also said, how can we make refinements? And now from then on, every season's kind of the same visually. But I'm fine with that because they refined the formula in 3 and then it stayed. So yeah, I think just everything just feels more refined.
Yes, and better uniforms.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, yeah.
No more back pain.
And more what?
No more back pain. I was getting back pain from doing it with you guys the last time, and now I've got the 2-piece. It's much nicer.
Yes.
Well, you don't get back pain with Voyager or First Contact. It's just the way it's built, or at least sort of built. All right. Where are we going in this journey?
We're starting off with classic for real with $10. He says on a business trip and probably can't watch. So here's $5 for season 3, episode 1, Evolution, and $5 for real season finale, Transfigurations. P.S. Listening to Saturday's TMP review lasted from Denver to Santa Fe, a distance of 700 kilometers. Nice.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's nice to think we entertain people for a while. I know I've enjoyed podcasts last a super long time. It's like, haha, 6 hours. I don't have to worry about stuff today. I just there you go. It's my day gone.
So episode 1, Evolutions.
Yes.
That's with the scientist guy, and he talks to Wesley about being a prodigy. Now, I don't see a thumbnail for it. Really great visual though of the ship with the thing, and I don't remember the specifics of this one honestly. I know the guy has a bit of a funny name, Doctor. I can't remember.
Dr. Miglimo, that's a weird name.
Yes.
Oh, the screen kept don't you take. That's annoying. I found one, took it, don't you take it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Good, I'm not going crazy.
No.
Yes. Doctor Snibs. Something like that. It's an odd one.
Doctor character actor from Scrubs.
I didn't know he was in Scrubs, but cool.
Oh, he's Kelso. He's the guy that runs the hospital.
Dr. Paul Stubbs is his name.
Damn.
Yeah.
So if I recall correctly, this is sort of near the end of the Wesley arc. Am I thinking that right? As if he does something good in this episode and then he sort of goes away. Is that this season? Because I did this as a scroll and I don't think he's in the season much, but that's because I scrolled quite quickly. I don't know.
Yeah, this is one of the better Wesley episodes. They're trying to make him more relevant and less annoying, I think, to the viewers. And this one, highlights be yourself, be smart. You have a good future ahead of you. Yeah. Just trying to remember this episode because there's a little probe thing.
This is average at best. Because even if the dialogue was sensational, I think we'd remember that. And I don't.
Yeah.
I remember the fact the guy's in it. I remember the solar thing, and nothing else. And this is the ones we reviewed far earlier than the other ones. I remember Wesley being good, finding it, but they toned him down. Mr. Problem Solver. But, and as we said, I said this in a previous episode with you, a lot of these episodes have become culturally relevant and talked about. This is not one that people talk about. Nothing in this except the one visual of the gas cloud, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know what episode it was from necessarily. Nothing here is raising. As I'm scrolling, the end data gets taken over by something. I guess.
This is where.
Oh, can't hear.
This is where Wesley's nanites infiltrate the Enterprise D. That's right. And we get to see the computer core room.
Which is a classic grill plating, which is a great thing. I'll say C straight away. This is unmemorable, average. Doesn't matter if it's a good season. This is a average. I want to say very close to D, because if I don't remember it at all, does that not imply below average?
Yeah.
I think this will get overthrown in C very quickly, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's for this season, so we can have Fs this season, even if they're still good. Because not everything can be an S or an A or a B, right? There's going to be the worst ones of the season. Depends how bad they get. So it's probably a D, but we'll start with C and C.
C and C.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, he wanted transfigurations. Which I also don't see a picture for.
Transfigurations is...
That's the one where the guy evolves into a light being at the end, and he has a romance with...
Season 3, episode 25.
With Beverly Crusher.
Oh, yeah.
And Geordi actually takes his advice about women and gets a girl, and then it's never talked about again.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, sort of.
Builds up Geordi's confidence. Geordi gives him a nice big thank you at the end, and then it's never talked about again, and Geordi's back to being unlucky in love.
Yeah, but it probably, it didn't work,
Well, yeah.
3 dates didn't work. Maybe between the episodes, 8 months had passed or whatever, so it was just... time had passed.
This one is relatively not thrilling for me. It is just Wesley not Wesley, my God. His mom, Beverly, falling in love with her patient. And then these people coming to hunt this guy down, saying he's a criminal, he's broken laws, he's caused unrest and uprising. And turns out that they suppress these people that are different, and they're just on the brink of the next form of evolution for their people. And he wears a really funky suit at the end. You can see the seams and the bumps in it when they light him up into this pure energy being. And that's a cool concept, the whole evolving past the physical form. But that's all I remember it for, and the love affair thing. There's not much going on with this one. If I recall correctly, I don't even remember a B plot, if there is one.
Well, Wesley's now in full uniform, which I remember him. I was talking about. He's finally got it, and then got thrown out of the season. It looks great in it, as I think we had time. He looks very good in red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scrolling, and I remember we reviewed this and thought the chemistry between Beverly and the lady was nice. Beverly and the guy was nice.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm remembering as I watched through it. Again, unmemorable. And that is obviously most of the plot, right? Those two having chemistry. But yeah, and the light energy beam kind of remember, but
it's a good story.
Generic sci-fi. It hasn't got the certain something that TNG often has. I can see the plot, but I can't see the good TNG out of it, right?
Yeah.
Or the great TNG, I should say.
I mean, this is really good character development, because there's the whole thing with Worf and Geordi at the beginning talking about the girl that Geordi's interested in, and Worf trying to give him advice, and there's that kind of stuff going on, but it's not super memorable.
Although, wow, that shot on the planet is... How are they doing that? What? What? Let me show this picture, because this is a very, very, very good looking... Because this is sort of before blue screen that you'd want to do. How did they do this shot? Because that's not the Planet Hell set, because you can see, you know, a mountain. It's not rear projection because it's too nice, and there's depth.
But the foreground feels like a soundstage.
The foreground does, certainly. And then it moves through it, but it's higher detail than Planet Hell. It's not blue screen because it's too clean.
Could that just be in the remastered?
Yeah, maybe. That's really freaking good. Wow.
Does look good.
Yeah.
This one also establishes Miles having an injury to his arm, dislocated his shoulder because of kayaking, or not kayaking. Was it kayaking in this one?
I remember you said.
Or was it racquetball? I think it's kayaking. Anyway, yeah. So, and that comes up a few times that he's had arm injury. So,
yeah.
So
I'll throw in again C. It's probably about the same as the other in C.
Yeah.
Now, it might have been a B in season 1, but this is season 3, right? The bar is a lot higher. And we've not reached that bar yet. So far, season 3 is okay. And I think if every episode had been like this, it wouldn't have got many more seasons. You need the really excellent ideas that kind of pop. And isn't that weird? Season 2 we remembered more. Because almost every episode we knew pretty much from the get-go. This, 2 in, we're like, I can't remember that. Isn't that kind of worrying?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. All right, Olivia, $5. Yesterday's Enterprise.
There we go. This might be our first.
That's just an instant S. I mean, this is one of the best episodes of Star Trek ever, in my opinion. It's just oozing and dripping with Star Trekkiness. You get to see the Enterprise C. You get not only time issues of the ship coming forward in time, but also dimensional things going on, alternate reality, showing the bravery of Starfleet officers, do what's needed of them to have an everlasting peace and change things. Get to see an Enterprise C bridge. I mean, there's so much here, and it's such a good cast. Castillo or Castillo, whatever his name is. Castillo.
Anyway.
Yes. Dude from Happy Gilmore. Shooter McGavin. He's great in it. Well, the only one thing that I don't like about this episode is those era uniforms just missing the belt and the turtleneck. It's an odd omission. I get it. They're trying to progress it towards what TNG looked like. But other than that, I think this is top-notch stuff. Bringing Tasha back, having Guinan like sense that something's off, and have, you know, the whole conundrum for Picard going, how do I know that that's the correct one, the correct timeline? I can't really let everybody die to bolster this timeline, which I'm not even sure is correct. Like it's a lot of moral issues going on, and really great visuals as well. There's a lot to like in this episode.
This is one of the few episodes where it kind of stays at the same high gear the entire episode. You know, over last week's reviews, I talked about how some episodes like reach a 6 and stay. This goes like straight to an 8 and stays. But because it's such a good 8, every scene is kind of electric, because either you're having really dark tone scenes with Guinan and Picard, or engaging scenes with Garrett and Picard, or love scenes actually quite good, or everything is interesting and tangible. And it's one of those few times where our heroes aren't actually Enterprise D, our heroes Enterprise C. This is a past, people going forward story, because they aren't our characters. But they all are. They're just shadows themselves. But not war, they're not evil, they're just taken by a less fun world. And obviously hearing Picard said in the review, saying we're losing, and you know him saying that means it's even worse than the tone implies. Like, we are actually probably going to be subjugated in the next few months. You feel it in a way that you wouldn't for most captains. Like, Kirk said we're losing, you're like, oh yeah, bravado. But it's like, oh, Picard said it. Garrett, excellent. Underplayed, but in the right way. It's a very nuanced performance. So
yeah,
you know, would love to have seen her again. Would have been lovely. Tasha's a best performance, but that's not a hard bar, unfortunately. But she nails it beyond belief. Castillo's amazing. Guinan's great. Picard's great. The bridge is good. Once you start seeing the reuse of it, it's a bit less impressive. But this is the best version that we see. Could be a little bit cooler, but that's okay. And maybe view screen. Everyone always throws in the Battle Bridge view screen. It would be nice to have more cool stuff. and the battle at the end is done good. The fact that we get to see damage and death is different, and Riker's jump on the thing at the end is great, with some very quotable lines. I mean, almost quotable. This is both excellent Star Trek, excellent sci-fi, excellent drama, and excellent period piece. Weirdly, because it's a unique, it nails everything. And I think had they had like a not very good Enterprise sea captain, fine, or whatever. This is hands down S. And if it's not the best of the season, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, same.
Because the thing is now we've got a dangerous thing. This is so much an S that, you know what I mean? Like, there now might be A's that can't even see S because it is so high. And then again, it's a relative scale, right? So,
yeah.
Well done.
Well, just looking, there's at least 2 more S's, at least in my opinion. Just glancing over these real quick. So
cool.
We'll see.
But we might not look at them. It's up to them.
Olivia, $5.
Ooh.
Booby Trap. Yes, this is one of my personal favorites.
Picard fanboy episode.
Yeah, he's the Permelian battle cruiser. Studied them when he was a kid. The fact that they had been spacefaring species way before we were like barely out of caves, which is really great. The whole story of their war and this trap that was set in these asteroids that just draws power from the other ship. We got Leah Brahms' introduction. We get the whole weird Geordi and Leah Brahms thing, which is really well, I think. It's actually really enjoyable to watch the way that kind of grows. But then you realize the implications of it, and you're like, oh, that's kind of creepy. Picard takes the helm. He does his thing. He doesn't want to put anybody in the position of getting the ship out of there. He wants to do it himself. If anything goes wrong, it's his fault. I mean, there's a lot of really fantastic stuff in this episode. I love when they go to the Permelian battlecruiser bridge, and you see the decomposed bodies, and you get the last log of the captain that they watch. It really kind of feels impactful. And I mean, the Permelian battlecruiser design is interesting. It's not great, but it's interesting. This is a good problem-solving kind of episode. And there's enough going on without having a B and C plot that it just absolutely works. This is a fantastic episode, hands down.
Yeah, this is definitely more aimed at us because it has new ships, new ideas, new tech, new history, and a very minutia look at the Enterprise. I mean, it's a one of a kind to see a Galaxy class using RCS thrusters and piloted by the captain. Hyper unique, right? And so memorable, and to have him have the confidence to fly, etc., is really just fun. And he kind of feels young again. If you watch the scene, he's like, something about it's kind of fun. And the whole thing is him really out of character, but in a way that he would be on the Stargazer as the second in command, or whatever he had been on that. To see him go back sort of 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience is just fun. Leah Brahms, I mean, the ethicality of holodecks is going to change all that stuff because everyone's hollow banging everyone. Unavoidable, right? So at that point you just become null to it, so whatever. But Leah's nice. The evolution of the characters is fun. I kind of wish they paid off that more satisfactorily in later shows, but you kind of have the lower decks. Geordi, it's really a Geordi episode, and he absolutely, I mean, he sings. He's the MVP of this piece because he's obviously given the time to although I just given the time, and was in dry dock or space dock, wonderful. Yeah, it's a very unusual piece, and it's very much, we stood still the episode, but the drama of having to fight by doing almost nothing, it's so cerebral and yet simple. I think it could be better, but I think maybe that's mostly due to like the Leah Brahms stuff. It could be a bigger set, with shots of the galaxy, maybe him going in, budget would make those scenes more elaborate, because once you watch them, it's the Enterprise C bridge, right? It's Enterprise C bridge, small room, looks the same. That would make it better with more, right? But that's just elevating a piece. But yeah, it's a damn good piece with Geordi. If this is the only thing to show reel, pretty happy. With a very good day at the start. By very good, I mean terrible. But very good.
Yeah, for me, this is another S.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
How does that...
It's got everything I want out of a Star Trek episode.
So it's near Yes Enterprise or not? Because that's the current S.
No, it's not quite as near as that, no. Yesterday's Enterprise is above this, for sure. But this one, I know you're going to want to put it in A, because it's not Yesterday's Enterprise, but I personally disagree. I think it should be an S for this season because it's one of the top tier episodes this season.
Yeah, and predictably I'll say A because it doesn't have the scale scope of the S, and it's fun, it's great, but it's certainly not as sharp, not as well written. Could be cooler. And
Disagree.
And if you look at, like I say, levels, like there's a distinction between those two, right? And that's a problem with such a high S. You know, because I wouldn't.
It's still an S, though, in my opinion. It's not as high an S, but it's still an S. We're not going to agree.
No.
Want them to vote.
Yes, that's fine. Because I was going to say that if there's something in between, push it down. But yeah, I wouldn't put this in my top 30 or even 40 because it's too techno for that. There are better stories that do more rounded stuff. This is fun as a unique ship thing.
Oh, it'd be in my top. I love this. Yeah.
I mean, clear if it's an S. I mean, it has to be a top 10 because there's not that many S's in TNG. Interesting. All right, guys.
Okay, so vote it in the regular chat, whether you think it's an S or an A, or if you want to lock it in with a super chat, you can do that. Any amount of super chat can do that. Bear in mind, guys, that it is $5 minimum for selecting an episode because there are only a certain number of episodes. So if you haven't put in the 5,
you can top it up if you want.
Maybe somebody can bolster it, or you can top it up yourself. But
so I probably would have said high B if this was without you here, just because the pacing's not perfect.
Wow.
Well, A and being A because you love it so much. To try, I think it would have been a. Yeah. I'm leaving room for other things. There are better episodes in this season, and they can't all be S's, at least in my head. But that's the thing, contrast, right? Where we start going through the season, this is when you learn between and personal preference and such. Vote now, guys.
Looking at this, I see at least 3 S's. This is the second of those.
The season.
Yes.
And again, guys, $30. Stuart or I will get in TNG. I mean, look at the fancy TNG I have. I'm just saying. It's so damn wine coloured, but it looks red on screen.
Yeah, they look
different. Perfect. Why is it red? Anyway, what do people say? Oh.
All right. We got an S. Alec says might be a perfect episode, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Ozzy says S. Tab Extra says S. Dark Thunder says S. Fleetpaw says S. Schmobuddy says S. Tab Extra says S.
All right, there you go.
Ozzy even locked it in with $5. Quadruple S super chat.
Damn. Well, there you go. Glad people like it.
Yeah, this is a fun one. It's really enjoyable to watch.
Dichotomy of the season so far. Actually, will there be a single F? No, I don't. I do the graphics. I do the graphic catch, but Stuart keeps everything visible. I don't try and keep things visible. So I don't know if there's an F. Interesting to see if there is going to be one.
I think there's one that was yes, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we've got Olivia again with $5. Data Q and this concludes my list. Hope you feel better, Stuart and Samuel. Wait, Sam, that's your normal look. Wow. I was just tired. Not that I feel bad. I'm just tired. It's a data queue. What the hell?
It must mean the one episode with.
Yeah, I know. What's it called?
It is called. Not the bonding. Deja Q.
Deja Q, yes. Oh, that's probably what you meant to type.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That makes sense.
This is where he shows up with no powers. It's punished by the continuum.
And really naked. Everyone saw his schlang.
Yes, yeah. What can I do to prove it to you? Die. You're muted, but that's okay.
Oh, but it was funny. You knew what I was doing. I was in the Benny is real. I yelled he's real penis. Oh. Damn it. I was so... Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, this is fun. I mean, to this is his choice of exile, to hang out with Picard and these guys as a human. And I love his interactions with Data. His confrontation with Guinan in this is funny. He gets stabbed in the hand with a fork, which is awesome. And yes, there's this meteor that's going to be destroying this colony or planet. I think it's a planet. Then everybody thinks that Q's just fucking with them, that he's actually causing this and just trying to see their reactions to it, which is great. We get to be another Q as well, Corbin Burnson, which, I mean, it's cool to see another Q. He does get his powers back. He uses them to torture these entities that have been chasing him, because now that he's human, he's made some enemies. And yeah, we get a satisfactory conclusion where they stop the asteroid. But I can't remember if they use Q's help for that. I don't think they do. I think they do it all on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Data gets a good laugh at the end. So.
Yeah, this is, I think, easily the best Q episode, as in for John Delancey as Q. He has an amazing performance here, because most episodes he's playing a combination of the Fool, the Joker, and the God. Here he's playing a character with a journey and an arc. Like, it's easily his best performance, because he both keeps everything about Q and he loses everything about Q. It's amazing piece. And him and Data are an insanely good duo. Guinan really shines. She's barely in TNG, but when she is, she makes a presence, and this is very good.
Yeah.
With some very good gags like the Sundays, like the nakedness.
And her appearance in this doesn't take away from Troy. I find a lot of times she shows up, she takes a lot of what would be Troy's lines, Troy's part. This is uniquely Guinan, because she's dealing with Q, which is nice. So,
great overall plot. Very simple. You know, the dichotomy of classic Trek save the day and then classic God fight revenge, both is well executed, and the fact that Q sacrifices himself, or attempts to, for his friend Data, his crew, the crew, and then that gets him back his powers, is a nice end of the story. The other Q is I think we said at the time, doing an impression of John Delancey, so it feels false, but also he's not really a humanoid, so he's also putting on a body. What is his first time putting on a body, right? Like, you can't judge them by standards, but he's not trying to do his own thing, like Lady Q or the guy from Voyager. Like, he's, more contrived, but he's good, just he's not doing his own thing, he's doing a version of Delancey.
Oh, I don't see that at all.
Fair
Corbin Burnson has a very unique vibe in this.
Fair enough. This is why I remember. And the great, the mariachi band, the laugh, everything lasts like 2 minutes is iconic.
Yes. Now, where does this rank?
I mean, at least an A.
Yes, I was going to say at least the A, but it's like the perfect Q story.
Yep.
Yeah, A's. I mean, the asteroid thing is very Star Trek, Starfleet doing its thing, trying to solve this problem. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything that really elevates it.
Because it's a human story, and it's a sci-fi story, and a Star Trek story at their best. But it's not necessarily doing everything perfectly for everything else. But like I say, it's the best of its kind, and it blows out other stuff out the water. It's a very high A. I mean, certainly for me, it's on Old Booby Trap, if not better, because it's just a better character story for me. So yeah, A. But again, I try to keep S to the Ultra Special, and this is very close. But the Ultra Special is even specialer, because that has even more elements, right? This has most elements, but like you said, the asteroid plot is fine. If it was a bit more zazzy, a bit more special, then it'd be S. It wouldn't take much from S and S, just a bit more on that. But if you did, it'd pull away from everything else. So it's intentional, but yeah, that's my vote.
Okay. Fleet Paw throws in $2 and says, "Fear be gone. Fleet Paw's along. Good day, boys." Glad you're here, Fleet Paw.
The fear. But only $2 gone. So I'm still slightly fearful, Stuart. I don't know about you. I'm still like a little bit of fear.
Yeah. Tab extra 50 krona. Data's Day, season 4, episode 11. A, in my opinion. That's not today. This is season 3, unfortunately. So you can pick another one, tab extra, and put it in the regular chat. But Yeah, that'll be the next live.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Julius, $10.
Oh.
Foley die with the Borg attack on Lola 359. Will Sam and Commander Fleetpaw be able to defeat the Borg? Find out. First end of season cliffhanger in Star Trek. Do Best of Both Worlds, Part 1.
Now, do you think she had this in her brain for a while, this joke, or just improv'd it? I think it's pretty good, pretty funny.
Best of Both Worlds, Part 1.
All right, the best of both worlds parts.
Easily, hands down. Yes, we've talked about that many times.
Many times. I think I've turned you around from that because you originally were more positive. I think I pulled you down to recognise the disparity a bit more. Just a bit
can't
more.
recall that. It's just the second part's just so anticlimactic. Anyway.
And you do like a climax.
I do. So you can go first and talk about this one.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's great. It is so unique in television. They had no idea where it was going. And that never happens, like properly never happens, because nothing was settled in stone, and they left themselves the out for either way. Because if Patrick was going to leave, to bring him back, he'd have charged so much money for a one-off guest appearance because you know what I mean? It was like they had to plan. They had to plan he might be able to get killed and not return, etc. So yeah, introduction of the Borg. No, second of the Borg brings him in. Shelby's great. You know, strongest female character you've seen that decade in TV. You had like Ripley and stuff. Great Admiral, great A-plot, great Riker coming of age. This is the end of his development as a character. From this point onwards, he meanders until Nemesis, until First Contact, whatever. But he's great. You get, just all round good story, great build up, great tension. Yes, the battle is a non-battle, but that's obviously the point. It would have been nice to see the battle properly later. We sort of did, but not properly, but sort of middly. Picard getting grabbed is iconic and sad. The being on board, it always feels odd because they're the baddies and you're being on board them and there's no threat, but the threat builds when you piss them off, etc., etc. So it's kind of a fun escalation. And then Locutus is damn sad. Although now in post everything else, his costume's a bit naff. He's got a six-pack. Why? I don't know. Compared to like anything in Voyager, right? They're just so much higher in terms of costuming quality and whatever. Like they didn't try that expensive because they're doing a lot of other stuff, right? There's a lot of things in this episode. But yeah, it's great.
You say that, but I'm looking at it. It's a very polished episode. Like everything looks fantastic. This is kind of like what sets the mood for I think the following seasons.
I'm just comparing. The Borg exists as a bigger spectrum, right? So if you compare, like I said, a Borg costume from Voyager, which should have also been possible by the Borg, right? That's in universe as a production design.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, lighting, filming, script writing, delivery, acting, everything is so on point in this episode. It's so kind of perfect. I stand corrected. There might be 4 S's in this season. I mean, this is head and shoulders above Booby Trap, let's say. Even better in some ways than yesterday's Enterprise. It's got the unification of the cast, in my opinion. Shows their friendship. They're playing poker. They've got a whole bunch going on. Lots of high stakes as well.
Yes and no. Although, I just realized the edit's in one piece. I'm like, why am I scrolling and it's still going? That's not right. You're only moving up to the first 40 minutes, or however long. So yeah, the complaint I had was part 2, so that's obviously non-relevant, is it? Yeah, I think I prefer the plot of this Enterprise. It's easy to follow. It's more impassioned with people we know. As in, no, I mean, they're in the story. Once Locutus is out, once Picard's out, it becomes Locutus doesn't say that much, and small things, but yeah, he's more in part 2. Because that's the thing. This is we're moving to this season, right? In the big boy pen is as good as everything else. In every other ranking, this would be obviously S. But in this ranking of this season, where these are the best potentially, is this equally as good as the Enterprise? As you say, Booby Trap, etc. Does this factor as good? Because I'm less excited by some of these scenes, but I think a lot of it's because I know they don't mean anything in the grand scheme compared to part 2, right? But that's not how you should judge it per se. Like I think maybe next week or whatever, tomorrow, Thursday, whatever, maybe part 2 might be a D. Maybe, don't know, because it's then losing out from part 1. But yeah, as a microcosm with the potential of what is, I guess put the S, because this is a unique piece of TV. But when you combine them both, it lowers. But that's not what we're doing today, right?
Yeah.
Damn nice, not Mutara Nebula.
Yep. Okay, there we go. Schmobody with $2, although he's bulked that up. He sent a $10 super chat just recently to bulk up all his ones.
Oh, beautiful, guys. Thank you.
The Enemy, great peek at the Romulans.
Planet Hell done right. Those sets.
Yes. Also, the tale as old as time. 2 enemies having to work together. Geordi can't see. This guy can barely walk, so they have to help each other out of the situation. Yeah. That's all that comes to my mind as soon as I say it, and then I gotta go and look.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got the 3 plots. You've got the Tomahawk bluffy bullshit, which is really great. You've got the Worf encouraging the guy on the, let's not let the guy on the ship live with my blood, because F that guy. So you have huge different stakes, and LeVar is just superb, absolutely pitch perfect in this. The Romulan is doing very well that he had. Sort of a character, if he'd been another Romulan who could come back or had already been in it, would have been more powerful, but that's not the show's fault, etc. No, really solid episode, and the best of this premise in Trek.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there's one in Enterprise that's fine.
Well, that's just Enemy Mine. That's just the movie Enemy Mine. Almost.
Oh, yeah. And this is much better. And the fact that, I mean, this is an A from me, because it just does what it's trying to do so well. And we get proper Romulan interaction, which doesn't happen, and a lot of texture, a lot of fun. Yeah, and phasers use like a warming tool, which is great. So that's what I would say. What do you jump back on with this?
Pretty much all the same things. I do like the little twist at the end where the Tomahawk, the whole Tomahawk thing's great. Like, I don't know why they were there.
You tell me.
We're not doing anything shady. We want our men back, though.
Yes.
And then at the end, it's kind of confirmed that the guy that helped out Geordi is very much like, yeah, we're kind of doing some shady shit. Right on the bridge of the Enterprise, talking to Tomahawk. Love that, because I love the Romulan duplicity. And then, having earned the trust of one of them, it's a good episode for that, I think. I'd forgotten about the Worf thing, but yes, Worf flatly refusing to save an enemy, essentially, that killed his family. And kind of being mad at him, but at the same time really sympathizing and understanding. And I love the reactions from Beverly and Picard. They're like, I can order you to do this. I don't want to do that, though. And then that guy ends up eventually dying anyway. Yeah,
it's a really nuanced piece. Like I said, I think it's an A, because it's just a really quality bit of writing.
Yeah, it's pretty jam-packed, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the planet stuff may be a little bit extended and dragged out a little bit, but...
well, it's because you need the fall from Grace, and then the antagonist, then the fall come back up. So to have all elements, you have to have it be longer. It can't just be, hey, we're friends now, or hey, we're enemies now. So by the very nature of it, unfortunately, it has to be sort of long, with it being earned. Because it does feel like they really could kill each other. And then the satisfaction, right? It's a thing that the middle might be a bit slow, but the ending is so satisfying because of it, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you've put it, or would you have said a B, C, D?
No, I would have said a name for this one. Initially going into it, I would have thought a B, but I had forgotten about the war stuff, and that kind of layers the episode. Like, it's a lot going on with the same premise in mind.
But different avenues of the same...
Yeah, enemies and friends, and how you deal with situations like that. Yeah, so there's a lot more there than I first thought going into it. So, yeah.
And it's just like pretty damn unique, Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, Montgomery says didn't want Klingon blood in him anyway. Yeah. Yeah, he also had to say, both equally speciesist.
Yes. Yeah.
Klingons. Bleh. Gross. Ooh, okay.
33 likes, guys. That's great. We have 41 of you here, though. Hit that like button. Don't forget to vote in the poll as well.
Yes.
Is season 3 the best season of TNG? Yes or no?
Is it an easy question with an easy answer? I don't know.
We have 24 votes so far. So put in your thoughts
Yeah.
and opinions on it. We want to get a good number of voters on that.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone that's super chatting and participating. We love you guys.
We do indeed.
Alrighty.
All right, then. Where are we venturing to next?
Oh, I missed tab extras. 50 krona booby trap. So we did that, yeah. I think it is the first time we see the RCT reaction control thrusters on screen.
And it was darn nice.
Yes. All right, Fleet Paw, $5. Sins of the Father. You may test that assumption at your convenience. Picard's Starfleet fuck around and find out speech. It is. It absolutely is. It's a very polite way of saying it. Is that this season, though?
Yes. Kern.
Oh, okay.
McKern.
Kern.
Tony Todd. Owning the role. Owning the role.
All right, I'm going to have to refresh my memory on this one a little bit. So
this is the other half of the Klingon exchange program. Kern is now taking over as second in command Enterprise. He is a bit different. They give him a lovely banquet, and he doesn't like the food because it's weird and tasteless, and he rubs caviar on a chicken leg, and he insults everybody. And then he reveals to Worf he's actually his brother. Oh my god! And he's here because there's new. Then it becomes suddenly this amazingly deep Klingon plot from just a fun random Klingon plot about his evidence about his father. It wasn't really them. They have to go together and be the combined sons, and then it all becomes a political drama with Duros as the honors tested, and they meet the lady, and yeah, high-end Klingons. This is one of the definitive Klingon drama pieces because they go full in after the first 9 minutes. Like, oh my god, all the Klingons. Much better than Redemption.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I'll eat your replicated dead bird meat, or whatever he says. Yeah, Picard in this one's really great. Goes and finds the nurse, the lady, and yeah, there's some real political tension going on. We get to see an old general, like a General Kerr in Star Trek V, the big guy. Liked his take on things, and yes, your father was the one that's betrayed us, or betrayed Khitomer Outpost to the Romulans, and you have to own that, even though it's not true at all.
And they do know that going in, but we've got to give it to the lowly house because can't let the Duras, the big house, all the reputation and stuff, be destroyed. It's like, but it's honourable. Yeah, we know, Worf. We know. You're Russian. Yeah. Calm down. What? I'm Klingon. You've got an accent. What? It's Russian. What?
Yeah, I mean, scrolling through it, I know it's a very well-written episode and very well performed as well, but I don't remember a lot of the nuance in it. It's trying to prove the innocence or the guilt of the father, and seeing both sides of that politically. So
I'm pretty sure this is when you get the famous Chadich-ness.
Yes, yeah, I think so.
Brings him in, and then you get Picard having to play, as Worf says, once you're down there, you're playing by our rules. You're there not as a captain of Starfleet, but as a Klingon Chadich. And then he kind of does go by different rules, which is interesting. He kind of pulls himself back. Mm-hmm. And Picard gets almost stabbed in a room. And Kern gets stabbed in a little corridor after drinking, because it always happens with the drinking. And it's totally a Federation, like reuse of the Star Trek V, set, the bonky headset. You know what I mean? It's like easy redress.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the best Klingon episodes, and it's just because it's tastefully and texturally written. Kern is obviously S. Every scene is perfect, and the Klingon stuff isn't just generic grumble, right? It's nuanced, it's layered, and it's uncomfortable because politics, man.
I mean, a great episode of TV for sure. yeah, learning more about the Klingons. A lot of people like that kind of stuff. This one really delves into that.
It's tasteful. And a lot of Klingon makeup. I mean, my God, they invested. There's so few Klingons in season 1 and 2, and they must have been like, we're going to commission... We have to have a whole great haul, and I'm sure these are the uniforms and the makeup they use for the next, 30 years, because they are crowds for TV, right? And they would all take 4 hours of makeup, whatever. And obviously the amazingly famous everyone turns Worf on Worf at the end. That was always on the DVDs and the VHS. It's such an interesting thing. I mean, personal preference is a high B, but culturally maybe it should be an A because it does as much culturally as The Enemy does, with a lot more. Bigger budget, bigger set pieces, bigger things, better guest stars. And,
Yeah,
I mean, way more canon, because it starts the Worf thrown out arc.
I was just going to say that, yeah. It definitely adds more texture to Worf and his family, and you get to learn about his brother and all that. So there's a lot going on there. So yeah, I'd probably say an A, easily.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It helps when you use the canon and develop it and have big cultural things handled well. Shocking.
Right. Ozzy, $5, season 3, episode 23. Sarek returns.
The famous yelling illogical sequence, which boy you committed to. I can't imagine you could do that many times before having like an aneurysm, because that's very full on.
Well, they probably got it in one take.
I'd hope so. Yeah. And Amanda 2. Or Amanda B. No, Amanda A.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This one.
Yeah, we got the tank for the delegates. Blah, blah, blah. We got the concert where they're showing emotion. And shady shit's going on. There's a lot of talking in this episode.
There is. Sarek's degenerative disease, like Troy's. Yeah. We had that this season as well, I believe. I think we'll get to that. Or maybe next season. Affects everybody differently, so you get some fun stuff. Weird stuff. It's a clever bottle show with a bit of guest star. And I will just highlight the... I'd forgotten this because it's such a side thing, but yeah, the delegate bath scenes where they mention Ensign Dumont from Enterprise D that Wes going on a date with, who's my character I picked the name of for my fan film Temporal Anomaly, and so for me that's her, etc. So that's kind of fun. I always forget she's in this episode.
Yeah. And the Picard mind meld to give him the strength to get through the negotiations and kind of push the stuff off to Picard. Really great acting from Patrick Stewart in those scenes.
Again, hope one take, if not two, because that's just hard.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
And the dress uniforms, the dress uniforms. Real long. Your thoughts?
It's kind of a shame to see Sarek kind of down and out like this. I mean, we get a worse one later for sure, but he is very old, so it's fine, I guess. And I think it's treated very well. Like, I love that everybody's trying to cover up for him, his whole team. I don't remember the stakes on the line for the negotiations, but of course they're always dire, so it's fine.
I think they said he's the only one they'll talk to because of legacy factor, and so it's like if he's not able to do this, that basically screws the pooch. That's why you never see them, because he's the one.
And if I remember correctly, Sarek doesn't even realize his condition's that bad. Everybody's been kind of covering up for him, so he's kind of, I'm perfectly fine.
I've had some off days, but I'm fine. It's like, sir, I've been helping you with giant mental powers for 6 months now. Have you?
Yeah, which makes it even more kind of heart-wrenching that he's not even aware of the state of it. But yeah, I mean,
Should I jump in?
It was great to see Sarek back, and just the scene with Picard is just emotionally just amazing. taking on all of Sarek's regrets and things like that. So, yeah.
It's not a fun episode.
Nope.
It's not trying to be a fun episode. And I don't like watching this episode, but it's a great episode. But that's the way personal preference comes in. We like the sci-fi tech stuff. It's very nicey Sarek, but it's not nice seeing like this.
Yes.
And so had they had another episode with him normal, would have been, then you kind of earned this in a way. But especially as Mark isn't that old here. Like, he's playing him in the movies right now, looking normal. You know what I mean? Like, he's fine. Which then shows the well-done dichotomy, right, of the two. Yeah, this is definitely an episode where the end is so strong that even though the journey to get there is fine, good, meandering, it's trying to let you in slowly, right? It's not trying to hit you with it. So it makes sense. I like the concert. I like Data. I like the crying. I like Sarek in general, and Perrin's fine. She's right. She's no Amanda, but that makes sense. The middle's okay, right? It's a mystery, and once you know the solution, it's not quite as interesting. And yeah, Margolin is wonderful here, as is the fun when you get both after the mind meld. They both share certain nuances of each other. Yeah. Sarek calls number one, etc. Yeah, which is fun, and it's definitely satisfying to go from the loss of one of your heroes, and then he suddenly comes back in to the negotiations, all refined and looking good, and that's a satisfying moment. But then it's fleeting, and he is in a sense dying mentally. Yeah, it's not the story I would tell. Is the problem, right? It's like turning over an Enterprise. It might be great, but it's not what I would tell, and nor would I necessarily pick this out of a hat, right? Mm-hmm. What are you thinking?
Thinking an A at least for this one. Like you said, it's not fun nor enjoyable to watch in any sense of the imagination, but it's a fantastically well done episode. Yeah, I want to say an A personally.
So I was going to vote a B because everything in A is much better. Because the end of here is A tier, but the middle is C tier, and so it averages out to a B. Because everything S and A are pretty much consistent throughout. This is not consistent throughout. It has some laying it down bits at that level. I just don't think it's as good as anything in A.
I mean, acting wise, this is top tier.
For a bit of it though.
Okay.
Just for a chunk. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to find it. And we didn't remember the middle, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's the thing. Hey, maybe we'll do top 10 ranking scenes, right? Because again, that is going to be really. I mean, Jesus Christ! If you start doing scenes, you'll have too many S's, right? Because every episode might have a scene that's like, wow, this has some of those scenes, right? Oh no, do you guys disagree? I just think there's a lot more less good that pulls it down to the amazing.
No, I don't. I personally don't disagree. What do you guys think? I like your argument for that. Yeah.
Because again, if there's no contrast, then everything's just amazing, and then that means nothing's amazing, right? They would have to then redo the chart, strip out, and then actually break them down. If everything's so high, then where are you actually lining them up?
Well, we have 36 votes on the poll, guys. If you haven't voted, go vote. We have 40 of you here and 40 likes, so that's good.
And I'm kind of amazed. Because I thought this would be a shocking random 100%er, because people might think they think that. No, it's only 53% yes, which is basically a mid. Interesting.
Well, I would vote no on this poll personally, because there are better seasons coming up.
I'm interested to find out. I mean, we've got the biggest quality episode so far, like S and A are ranking super high.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah. Show Buddy, the Defector. Another great Romulan episode, and that end. Yeah, this is a fantastic episode. Learn a lot about the Romulans, and the actor that they bring in for him is absolutely amazing. Love his line deliveries. Love the way he speaks, his cadence, everything about him. He makes you both hate the Romulans and also feel sympathy for the situation. He'll never see Romulus again, and then of course, he ends up off in himself in the end. Getting to see a Romulan scout ship. The whole, is he bluffing? Is this a serious thing that's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Finding out that he was basically lied to by his superiors to see if he would do this, and of course he does.
Yep.
So it makes it even more heart-wrenching that he gave up everything to try to do what's right, and it was all just basically a test from his higher-ups to see if his heart's not Romulan.
And also shows Romulan arrogance. He thought he couldn't be outsmarted.
Yeah.
By leaving, he will save the day for his children. Oh, I got outsmarted. Shit. I lost everything for nothing. And now I'll be a traitor for the rest of the time. Shit. Gut punch! Yes.
This is a awesome episode to watch anytime it's on. I will check it out. A lot of nuance going on here. And it's the whole... Is it true? Is it not? What's going on? It still plays well, even though you know the answer. So, I think, and seeing the Romulus thing on the holodeck is also very cool. This also starts with the Shakespearean play that they're doing on the holodeck. So, some good holodeck stuff in this one as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, this one, I mean, had it been any other actor as this guy, would have been a worse episode. He does something special, kind of like most toys, right? Whoever they got, like NQ, the person they got gave it a life beyond the script. Because the script isn't that complicated for this, right? It's behind the guy's eyes is the fact that, yes, he's just some guy, and then he's one of the biggest guys ever. And you believe both versions. He plays both sincerely. Right, throughout. The fact that he's so low-key is unlike Tom Locke, is unlike the other Romans this season. He's his own thing. The fact that he does know he's betraying everything he's ever stood for in the faint hope that it might, in the future, maybe his children, maybe his grandchildren, be better, is heart-wrenching.
He's betraying his people, but at the same time he won't actively tell them the locations of certain key strategic things because he doesn't want to fully betray his people. Yeah, like...
It's true, he could just tell them how a cloak works. Just give them all the facts. Just tell them, you be this high, you know stuff. And he doesn't. Yeah. I was like, oh no. As I'm scrolling, also has the great Shakespeare start. Patrick Stewart has the great chase, and I love the reveal that they're under attack. It's like they were missing. It's a really fun mid twist that you have no reason to think going in, but it feels like a really nice little twist.
And also being outnumbered by the Daredexes, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, by the way, Klingon ships to cloak. So who's got the advantage now? Yeah,
especially after the Klingon stuff we just had, or will have yet to have. Like, it's a very Klingon Romulan season, and it's so rich for that. And go to Romulus is so satisfying with the guy, and it being, we as Starfleet says, oh, Hollow is fine. And he's like, it's not enough. It actually hurts worse, right? It is a little bit confused now with Picard. Oh, they hate synths. He's like, there's dozens of people want to take you apart. It's like, well, did you watch Picard TNG season 2 of... I wish you had sometimes, because...
Yeah.
But very low-key episode. It really is just, hey, I'm Guy. Let me make you go here. Here will stop war. Here is nothing. Oh no, trap. Oh no, bluff. Hey, we're fine. Really simple plot. There's all the things in between it. Like, I was going to say yes going in, but the fact I just said...
Yeah, me too.
But the fact that it's so simple, like, can something win on just performance? Because there's more story in Deja Q, but this guy fucking nails it, and there's those layers, but is it...
Yeah, I was sure in my head that this was going to be an S when we got to it. But...
I think very high A. I think Yagi is doing super different things, but comparable. The things it does well, it does exceptionally well. Like Q, Deja Q, like everything in A is very similarly amazing, but doesn't quite. It's very close. This one's very, very close.
Yeah, like this was one of the ones I was sure when I said there's so many S's. This is one that I definitely had in my mind, but
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're right. You're right about the actor too. Like it is a simple story. If it was somebody else that didn't quite do it as well, it would just kind of be like, this is a C.
Yeah, even the twist, we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like same thing. Rasputin, if that was his name, the future guy. Again, he makes the episode astounding. They nailed actors, which I think maybe partially why the Things in the Sea, both those actors were good. Didn't elevate it in a way that we're like, these are fundamentally, you know what I mean? Like those were good. Everyone in A is amazing. And the distinct, maybe not the Romulan guy quite as much but that's the story around him, right? He's meant to be a lowly guy. But yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what made Sarah Caness fucking Spock, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Just a small, imagine, I mean, never going to happen, but imagine right at the end, there's a Vulcan warp sled approaching, and they reuse TMP footage, and Ambassador Spock beams in. He's just there for that one scene. He picks up and says, "Thank you, Captain Picard. You're welcome, Mr. Spock." Ambassador Spock, and he beams away. That would have made it all-time famous. That wonderful moment of the two together. Oh, that would have been. And you didn't know it was going to happen. That Spock was in it. That would have been. Oof. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong.
Not to you. No, these are just purely wonderfully talking ones. We tend to say drinking if it's in the whatever. But you pick what you look at. Or rank higher or lower, depending.
Yes. All right. Schmobuddy, $2. Like I said, he made up for that with the later super chat. A Matter of Perspective, great caper. Did he episode?
Yes.
This is just a typical murder mystery type plot, aided by the technology of a holodeck. I love hearing the different versions of what happened from the different perspectives, and to find the final solution. I mean, the confinement beam on the transporter is what deflected the phaser blast. I mean, the timing on that is just one in a million.
That's why it's a story.
Yeah. But it's really great because I always love those kind of shows that show the same thing from different people's perspectives.
Yeah.
And this does it so well. And like I said, using the holodeck technology to do that is phenomenal. This is also the one where the thing on the planet is emitting whatever, and it's phasing out parts of the Enterprise as well. And that's
probably.
That's what caused the. I think there's a B plot in that regard. Let me just see. Real
like
quick.
I think the one on the planet hasn't turned off, and it's still causing problems.
Yes. Yeah.
And that helps them track it back down because there's like logs down there or something. Yeah, it's more dodgy than you think. That scientist guy isn't quite as clean cut as you might think as a murder victim.
Yeah. Plus, this gives us a lot of really great memes. Just the reactions of Riker and Picard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shall I jump in?
Absolutely. Anytime, just jump in.
No. This one's really interesting because I remember when we reviewed this, we both thought it was good, but watching it, we realized how great it was.
Yeah.
That was in the review mindset because it's freaking nuanced. And you are genuinely wondering, for most of it, is Riker, did he do it? And it's a real conversation because it might not be intentional, an accidental blow up and kill, but the way it's played, it just has a certain something. But he's a hero, but, you know, it can still be, even without meaning to. And yeah, seeing the same scene, if you said this premise, we're going to watch the same 3 scenes again and again and again, but the way they do it's like cause and effect, right? The way they do it elevates it in such a special way. The fact that each version of it, they all perform it very differently with almost the same dialogue, and it's just super interesting and clever and yeah, it's very, very unique. And I think there's even a point when I can't remember, is it that Troy thinks he could have done it or couldn't do it because she backs him on a certain point? She's like, but did you do it? I don't believe you. Or I know you didn't do it. There's a moment.
I don't remember.
There's an extreme, and you're like, "Oh, Deanna, if you think this, that might be true." Then I remember that being a thing.
Well, because she's reading his emotions, and he absolutely did have a little bit of a thing.
He's hiding something.
Yeah, because he didn't really like the guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't let it be.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he didn't try to hide the fact either, really. So yeah, I think it puts a little bit of doubt in her mind, but she also knows him really well and knows that he wouldn't do that. So,
but there's evidence. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And also, while the examination guy isn't A-list, he is right for this role because he's not. It's not about him, right? He's the lawyer, but I remember him reselling it, and the makeup's great. His look is phenomenal. I'm scrolling.
He was
through.
an inspector, I think, not a lawyer, but yeah.
Well, I mean, as a comparison, the piece, right?
Yeah,
that style of character, and even Picard, I believe there's one scene he's like, but could he have done it? It's because that's the thing. They're meant to be the truth is what's correct. As with Wesley, right? So if he did do it, we'll have to punish him. And they sort of teeper into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Another great trial episode.
Because it's not the sort of episode you tend to, like, especially for Trekyards, give such a high grade, but it's really, really well done. And it's just got some special things that make it special. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'd much rather watch this than Sarek.
Yes. Much rather, yeah.
Man. I want to say an A. I don't think it qualifies as an S. Just because it is a typical courtroom drama type deal.
Thanks, Ben.
But it's not... I wouldn't want to say there's not a lot of Star Trek. There absolutely is with the holodeck and the way it's all presented.
It's super unique.
Yeah.
While being super standard. Yeah.
Oh, man, maybe a low S. This is another one I would have just kind of written off, going, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a B. But
and then you talk about it and you remember the
feelings. and going through the episode, it's like, yeah, I remember this being really twist and turny.
Yeah. I don't remember the dialogue, but I remember how you felt watching it and reviewing it. We were very happy with this one. Yeah, I was going in with a B. I think I taught myself to an A because it is just so well told. I don't know what could make it an S, but I don't think it quite hits S because S implies best of Trek. I don't think it's there, but I'm also trying to keep S for the Ultra Specials. Maybe a bit more CG and spectacle if it's an S, which again, S Enterprise has that. But this is again like right in that, like, it can see S. It's a damn special piece. But then you say, but it's not talked about like at least the two in S that I would say an S. Like, so it's not what people would say, but we reviewed it, we loved it. At least an A.
Yeah. Yeah, high A.
Yep. God, such a variety. Wow. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Trekyards, you can drink. That's funny.
Fleet Pod, $5. The Bonding, it's an F. Poor Jeremy Astor lost his mom, lost his dad, joined Wharf House, and has never heard from again. Absolutely shit episode. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking of possibly being an F. You summed up the episode there. Although you forgot about the creature, the entity that wants to protect him and feels bad for the results of their ancient war, and takes on the kid to give him everything he wants, his mom back, his house back.
Okay, this season is when I move them off to drive when I have our scores, so I can actually now reflect on your score that you gave when reviewing this. That might play into this later. So we'll continue. I just have that open now.
Yeah. This feels like a holdover from the first season or second season scripts. This almost feels like it could have been one of the Phase 2 scripts.
Energy Life Form, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few episodes this season that have that. They get them out of the way pretty early, and then you get the new breed of Star Trek, TNG, which we've already looked at a lot of the newer breed. But this feels like a bit of a holdover. And yeah, unfortunately, as much as the House of Moog is important, how Worf treats family, this is so easily just an oversight by somebody because yes, you can come in. I will take care of you. You'll be a part of my family, and then never mentioned again. That just seems like such a odd choice. Oh my goodness! And the kid, I can't see anything but the kid from RoboCop 2. He plays a bad guy in RoboCop 2.
Good in that. Pretty good in that.
He is, yeah, but that's all I see, unfortunately, when I see this little shit. I mean, it's a kind of a heartwarming story a little bit. Like, I understand the kid's confusion and why he'd want his mom back, and people telling him that's not his mom. Like, it's a good story idea, and it's acted well enough. I don't think the kid really does a great job, personally, but
he's also in
mourning
around him, right?
Yes, he's in shock.
Yeah.
A lot of everyone around him does a good for their roles, but I don't know, it just doesn't quite hit with me,
Someone throwing a brief curveball. We both gave the last one, matter of perspective, a 7 across the board for every metric.
Okay.
So we might be thinking a little bit too fondly, because 7 is not an almost S. Interesting. So that's the problem with the reviewing thing. That's why reviewing and then reviewing. Because I also went back and you gave Sarek a 7.5. I gave it a 4.5. So hence why I pulled you down on that, because I clearly remember not liking it as much. Just wanted to mention that briefly. Shall I jump in?
Yes. No, you're not allowed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put this at F because there's no other thoughts in my head.
Yeah, this one
Go for it.
This is very sort of season 2 with the veneer of season 3. And I like Michael Dorn. I'm happy you got this. But I always forget. I always get this mixed up with the one where the kid loves Data.
Hero worship.
There you go. If they're not the same episode, they're so similar but not, right? And something about the mum actress just is off-putting. Probably intentionally, right? Just a bit off-putting. Yeah, it's a good premise, done okay. And that's kind of the thing, right? Yeah. If the child actor was a bit more zazzy, or they gave him more, it's like the Naomi Wildman actress, right? She has a similar story of almost losing the mum. She's way better in that. She really sings in that performance. She's just a better actress who can do better.
Put Haley Joel Osment in this role from Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
He would have nailed it.
Macaulay Culkin. No, not quite.
This kid just kind of is there, And like I said,
it
all
makes
I see
sense.
is RoboCop 2.
Makes sense, but he's too straight laced.
Yeah.
Good idea, and certainly the fact that never ever 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 talked about it again. Like, had he appeared in Picard season 3 and some insane, screw Raffi as a second helper of Worf, make Jeremy Astor, right? Chisel,
Yeah.
that could have been an amazing payoff, right? But it's so stop abandoning your kids, Worf. It's not great.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. If this had been season 1, it would be a B. Because the concept's good and it's well done for what it is, but this season's different. So I'll say D, because I think there's nothing I dislike about it, particularly. It just doesn't do much great.
You know what's worse than this episode? It's the one with the creepy little girl. The imaginary friend.
Oh, that's so well performed, though. In a creepy way.
But I think that's got a good B story, or I think that is the B story. I don't know. There's a good story in that episode.
Yes. That is definitely that's a stronger random alien infiltration story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the girl actor's better as well. Like, this kid doesn't elevate it, and so it's not he's dragging it down, he's just not letting it do its thing. Yeah. Interesting.
Schmobuddy, Tin Man, cool alien ship. Is this a Romulan season?
I'm excited to hear your review again, Stuart. I know how you feel about this.
I hate Tin Man so much.
But why? Oh, Captain, why? It's
I don't know.
Gumtree.
Let me
Gumtree.
skim through it so I can remember. I hate the main actor. He's played off as like somebody with autism, I think, because he can hear all the voices all the time, and he's just looking for quiet. Get a good scene of Deanna explaining the situation. I remember that, but there's nothing here that really speaks to me. Like, why did they bring this guy in? He's Nabrantane, I think is his name. He's like the specialist in something. I don't understand.
Well, they're trying to find the alien.
Yeah.
So he's a specialist in the alien.
Scrolling.
Yeah, I'm surprised Tin Man doesn't appear until like 32 minutes in.
Yes, and it's not even a good ship design.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's an organic ship. It's interesting. His eyes are very unnerving, even though they're the same as Troy's eyes. Troy. I don't like the actor, I think, is one of the main reasons I don't like this. Yeah, the Romulans showing up is kind of cool. The interiors of the ship with the way the doors open feels all organic is interesting, I guess.
Very Farpoint alien.
Yeah, well, exactly. Farpoint springs to mind, especially when the chair forms in the one room.
Which was a big effect at the time, I recall. I'm trying to remember the first 3 quarters. I'm scrolling and I don't see anything plot related except they're looking for him.
That's why I'm scrolling, because there's just nothing. And then, yeah, sure, at the end where it's the Romulans show up and then Tin Man like flings them out.
Very V'ger-like. Very they come together and they evolve, whatever. Because he's alone, isn't he? Tin Man is lost of his kind, any of his kind, as is this guy. And he knew Deanna. I think it was his instructor, the academy, her instructor of the academy, or something. Cause they weren't.
Yeah, they do know each other, but I can't remember how.
It's not a romance subplot because he's older. No, they find him 19 minutes in. Yeah, and the Romulans try and attack, and I remember there's a plot where he can hear the Romulans' thoughts, and that plays a part. But yeah, I'm failing to remember the middle at all. It's the slight problem with bottle shows. It was just the same sets. So I don't mind the actor. I think he's very good in Buffy, which I know him. He's weird and creepy, and he's like a big snake, if I recall. But you're obviously hiring as a character actor for that role. It's like you're not hiring Clint Howard to be the leading man who's sexy, right? Like, people have certain, or Jason Statham to be, he's playing this type very well. It's just not a fun performance, but he's playing the part.
I don't remember the Romulan stake in it though. Like, why were they so keen to get Tin Man? Is Tin Man that powerful?
No, I think it's nearly at their space, and they're saying, I think, and it's like, don't come into our space. Or was there another ship got destroyed by Tin Man?
I think that might be.
I think another ship did, yeah.
Yeah, so they're out for revenge.
Okay, guys. Oh, he was a patient. Yeah, thank you. Right, everyone vote right now. We are so undecided because we have... I like the episode in general, like in theory in general. Let us know right now. Right now, Tin Man, give it your ranking score. Is it an A or an S? No, put it for real.
Schmobody says it's a great Data episode. And yeah, there was that subplot of he couldn't read Data's thoughts, so him and Data had a few good back and forths. Like, but
there are better Data episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, he's hanging out with Data because he gives him peace because he doesn't have someone to think.
Yes.
But he can also see the rest of the ship, though, can't he? So
he can, but he's learned to kind of control it and focus on what's in front of him. Yeah. So to talk to Data, he just has nothing. It's like a real conversation. You're actually learning about somebody.
Yeah, there's like a scene where he's like, I didn't know you're going to say that. That's great.
Yeah.
That surprised you? Yeah. It's new. You guys, everyone, right? If you're on your phone, if you're in the bathroom, take a break from whatever you're doing in the bathroom. Type in the ABS, whatever. If you're on the couch, grab your phone from the side. If you're in the shower and it's in one of those little locked things, risk it. Your phone can take the water damage because every phone can take it. Put the thing in right. Tell us the score right now. S, A, B, C, D, and F. What do we say in the what did past us say? That's probably useful. I hated it more than you did by a substantial margin. I'm shocked given this conversation.
I am too, actually.
I liked it 2 points less than you, which is a lot for me.
Yeah, this is the one that doesn't really.
Wow, that's.
This puts me off every time I see Tin Man. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
I liked the bonding more. You liked the bonding less.
I'm not a fan of the bonding, that's for sure. All right, we got A or B is fine. It's a C, B, A for Tin Man, B.
Hey, wow.
Dan Ben says it's one of his favorites. Maybe a B at a push. F for Farscape ripoff. B. I think B's fair.
I was gonna say C.
I mean, I don't know why people are saying B and above. I mean, they must be seeing something that I've missed all these years.
Yeah, yeah. Sarek, there's no scene except the last Tin Man little bit, but it's not like it's amazing that's memorable in this. Like on a big level, or Sarek has several big beats, and we didn't remember the first 27 minutes of this. That's sort of worrying.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, clearly my score was 4.5, Stuart. For me, that's very low.
It is.
So I'm going to say C because the C's are not impressing in any way. And if it was all TNG, it'd be lower. But the season's so high. Does that make sense? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
I could justify
B
anything.
feels too strong.
Yeah, I could justify anything under like a B and down. I don't know why anybody would say A.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is, if you love the ship and you relate to the guy, that's the premise of the thing, right?
Well, yes, that's true.
So yeah, it's easy to you know. Yeah. We all like different things, right? So I'm not gonna pull from the yuck to the yum. Yeah, I think C. I think R. I mean, we're not enthused from the start. I thought we were gonna go lower, potentially, right? But yeah, I think
I did too. Yeah.
I think C is just, you know. Oh, that's all right.
Put it at C for now. Like, if anybody feels that strongly about it, they can move it up. $5 super chat to move it up. A tier. Nobody locked in one score with a super chat, so
Yeah.
I think there's enough mystery and interesting stuff in this that I'd watch it over the bonding for sure. So yeah, I kind of like where it's sitting here.
Yeah. There's chasms between them, I think.
All right.
All right. We're on our final stretch, so let's go through. If there's any that have not been said, we'll maybe do this last batch a little bit quicker, so we can hopefully get the rest of them. We've got 26 minutes. We'd like to get more of the season, so let's do it. Let's get through them.
The SP Freely only did £2, but it's fine at this point. Would rate Menage a Troy, oh my god, an F or a D at the minimum.
Wow. And guys, I think we're running out of submissions. There's loads left. I just looked. So yes, please. Can we lower it to 3? Are we being generous now?
Sure.
Yeah, there we go. $3. Put them in. Yeah, let's talk about the rest of them. I'd love to talk about them.
Menage a Troy. Yeah. Ferengi episode. We got naked Waxana, Indiana Troy. I mean, there's also some on-scene filming, like they're in a garden at some point.
Yeah.
Which is great to see them out of the studio. Anytime they do that is really good. Remember the chimes or the song at the beginning of the episode is how they find them, because they're tapping that out on the ship's emissions or whatever. And it's the whole Jean-Luc Picard giving this heartfelt, like, I love her, but I'm willing to destroy her if I can't have her, no one can. I'll destroy your ship.
It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Miss War, fire quantum torpedoes. What?
You
There
don't
we
have
go.
quantum torpedoes, sir.
Damn it, Worf! Invent them! Shit! Go!
Yeah, I don't remember much of this one. Some funny Ferengi scenes. And I think Riker talks one of the Ferengi officers into, like, he doesn't respect you. You're Daemon. He's doing shady shit, and you guys are going to pay for it.
But you know who's the best Daemon? Daemon Arak. He's a good lad. He's a good lad.
Sure.
No, this episode. I mean, I'm scrolling, and I love the fact that we've had so many this season of textual alien work. We've had the Klingon one, several Romulan, and this is a great Ferengi episode in that they're not just bartering. This is an interesting Ferengi. And he's doing it for love, creepy, kidnappy love, but their culture is women are naked, right? So it makes sense. I'm not going to judge it poor for that. Loxana's pretty good in this. She's more balanced. She's more measured. The outside stuff looks great. Mr. Hom is great. I believe this is Riker and Troy actually on a date. Like, actually,
Yes.
Like it's sort of semi-romantic because they're both off duty doing a thing in Beta Z. It's actually kind of, which is why, if I recall, they butt heads because they're on a date, and it's kind of like, well, back to this, and like it works kind of well. And it's great to see Ferengi interiors. That's pretty much one of a kind to see actual sets. They're not that interesting, but they are different at least with different color palettes. I appreciate that. The resolution is phenomenal. The plane chess or Ferengi chess with the Ferengi is great. Riker's really smart in this episode for what he's doing. And Loxana's... Oh yeah, Ethan Phillips. He's the dick Klingon... Ferengi. I forgot that. Yeah, he's great. He's a great Ferengi. I just forget he's in this. And the resolution is like top iconic. You know? Picard's speech, Picard's with Troy is like one of the most like... You know, like top 50 moments because it's just so memorably weird.
Yeah.
I'd say high C dipping into B for just creativity interesting.
This is the one at the end where Wesley gets his uniform. He gets an actual ensign's uniform instead of the acting ensign.
Yes. So I'd say very high C, very low B, just for its being super different and a bit creative and interesting, and everyone gets something different to do, and yeah, that's my thought.
I'm going to say probably for me it would be a D because I don't remember a lot of it. It's just kidnap, rescue. That's all I kind of remember. I don't remember all the nuance of it. I know that that Troy and her mom are bickering quite a bit about things. But yeah, I can't specifically think of anything else.
Well, go for a C then, because I don't remember lots of the nuances. There's very like dislike in it. I'd certainly watch it over anything in C and over Zarek. But that's just it's not a fun episode, right? Yeah, I liked it. This would have been probably a very high B in season 1. I'm just saying, I remember it being just like a all-round good episode with people so great and an amazing end.
Okay. Ash, 5 pounds. I'm stuck for a Star Trek episode to watch tonight. What would you recommend me watching from any series?
That's a
Yesterday's
question.
Enterprise.
Message in a Bottle. Or the Degra one in season 3 of Enterprise. Or Into Mirror Darkly. Those are always fun. I hate TOS,
Yeah.
then they're not.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps,
question.
Ash.
That's a great question.
5 pounds. Has Yesterday's Enterprise been done yet? Yes. First one. Well, one of the first ones we did. And it is an S.
You can repick if you let us know or have let us know.
Schmobuddy with $10. Yeah, I'm in and out on the chat today. Just saw this. Should even up with a couple of the other $2 coming. There you go.
Beautiful. What a team. What a team.
And then he's $2 for Schmobuddy. All even on my $2. Well, thank you, Schmobuddy. Appreciate that. Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Sarek, already discussed it. That is a B from us. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Menage a Trois has Neelix and Waxana. Love it. Gunnar the Gardener, great name. $5.
Thank you.
Season 4, episode 5, Remember Me, a niche favorite for me. That's the next live we do. That's season 4. It's not
Remind us next time on Trekyards.
Yes. Ozzy, $5. S for Sarek.
Oh, damn.
Well, we can move it up 1.
That's what he means, yeah. All right.
Come on. Slides. I hate slides, just for the record.
We do kind of overload it, though. So, yeah, last 90 minutes, guys. There are plenty left. Throwing some 3s, throwing some 5s. Obviously, supports the channel. As you guys know, you guys do amazing. But a couple more would be tremendous. And so there's one I really want to talk about. And there's a couple I think we want to talk about. So, because we won't talk about it unless you let us. You know?
Not a band account, $5. Menage a Troy.
Oh, pick another one if you want.
Fleet Pod, $10. The Offspring. Data's only daughter. Picard season 1 can get fucked with that. Who watches the Watchers? About the Mintakans, Proto-Vulcans in a Bronze Age stage who end up worshipping Picard. All right, those are both good. All right. The Offspring with Lal. Yeah, that's a really good episode. More shenanigans from Starfleet in that one. Like, she should be trained properly. We're going to take her from her father. And it's a whole moral dilemma of she's probably best being raised by her father. But yes, Data creates another android and lets Lal choose their form. We get to see an Andorian, a weird-looking Andorian, Klingon, human. She goes with a female, human female. And really funny scene at the bar where Data's like, what intentions do you have for my daughter, Commander? And he's out. It's great. A very heartwarming and touching story, I think. I always hate this admiral for coming in and trying to take her from them, but that's the point. It's about child custody issues, essentially, and what's best for the kid. And then, of course, unfortunately, she does pass away, or overload, or whatever the situation is. But all of her memories, all of her experiences are all transferred to Data, so he has them all in his brain.
So you're saying in Insurrection, when Data is asked by Riker to touch his smooth face, he gets a flashback to kissing Riker's face as Lal.
Possibly. Wow. That's creepy and weird, and I've never once thought that, but thank you for putting that in my head.
You just told me. You just yeah. Sols.
Yeah.
Sols, not Sols.
I mean, just the progression of it, like, it's cool. You created your own, a new android. That's awesome. Seeing her learn, and then getting Starfleet wants constant reports and updates, and then it turns into Starfleet's coming to take her because they want to take her to the Daystrom Institute to make sure that she's studied and, doesn't develops properly, I guess. So that whole moral dilemma of the episode just kind of annoys me and bugs me a little bit because it's so frustrating. And good casting as well for Lal.
Yeah, how do you cast Data's daughter? Probably would like her to have the same skin as Data. They probably have elevated a little bit. Because if he can create a perfect one, then that sets dangerous precedent in a good way for Data, but for everyone else. That but they do say, don't they say though with Data it was a choice by Sung to make him imperfectly perfect?
Yes, he was too perfect, and they wanted him to look less perfect because the colonists were freaked out by it.
Yeah, so the skin, etc. But yeah, if you can just make an android, they're not as that hard. I mean, obviously it fails, but you would have done more versions.
Yeah. And Data also improved upon himself with her, which is the whole thing. Like, you gotta make your kids have a better life than you did, because she can use contractions. There's a whole bunch of things they kind of point out that she can do better than him.
I think I probably liked this episode more if it had actually been a creature that could grow, as in creating a fully formed adult with the brain of a child creates really weird. How do you treat them? They're neither, right? And if they are just an adult, then being born yesterday means nothing because they're you know what I mean. It would have been kind of cool if it had been like a Data created so he actually aged, because Data ages, right? If actually been a child and a really good child actor, and then you'd have even more of the kidness, and maybe they had phases throughout the episode and gone from kid to older to older. That's a small note, just going for the more kid motif.
Marsden had picked a different episode, which we'll get to next.
Yes, sir. As does Sergeant Montgomery, which is great. Yeah, good episode. I don't love it. I like it a lot. Not one I normally choose to watch. I guess a bit one note, but it's also focused, which makes sense. I don't remember particularly the internal moral stuff or more fun stuff. Yeah, like it fine. Pretty good.
For me, it's probably a B.
Yeah. Yep, straight B. It tonally, it's just super unique. Of course it is. And also, first directed by Frakes. And he's a good it's well directed. And he directed himself getting kissed. Sure. Yeah. And good redress of the Enterprise Sea Bridge to just be a big giant green room. Oh.
All right, so we'll get to Ash Marsden's, then we'll get to yours, Sergeant Montgomery. So he picked Captain's Holiday.
Indiana Jones.
With the Oxutat.
And Vash, and not Rom.
Yeah. It's always cool to see Ryza. I love that the captain is, of course, not taking care of himself, so he's got to go on a vacation. They kind of make him typical trope for the captains in Star Trek, it seems. And yeah, meets Vosh. We got like a little archaeological adventure going on, and future aliens looking for this device and knowing that the Picard is the one that will stop them. The Picard.
Or not future aliens. Most likely, but not 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun episode. Again, it kind of has the stank of season 1 and 2 on it a little bit. Something about the production quality of it. I don't know what it is. But the love interest for Picard was a nice way to kind of humanize the character a little bit, make him feel not as standoffish, because that's one of the complaints people had about Picard in the first season, at least. It's a fun enough episode, and yeah, Rom not being not Rom, sufficiently creepy, and it's a fun idea. I like the time travel aspect of it. If they're, what does this thing actually do? Yeah, it's fun. Indiana Jones in space, as Sam said.
Yes, because he wants a love interest and archaeology. But the problem is Patrick feels 20 years older than Vash, so it feels a bit wonky. But he's not that old and she's not that young, but it feels that way in the episode. And I don't, I'm not as into older women, so it feels weird to me. But it's fine. Just like if they've been closer in age, would been like him with the lady, the piano, perfect. Like they have about the same vibe. Vash is anyway. This episode will be better, and you'll allude to in a second, if the production design allowed them to be bigger. If they went to a real spa and had a more interesting cave set, right? It's limited by the TV budget. I think the story's great. The casting's fantastic. The jokes are fantastic. The fact that Riker gives him a sex token and the way he plays that is perfect. And then, why do I keep getting approached by women? Well, you're asking for it, literally. The maybe temporal stuff is great. And I even believe at the end they say, like, as history went, as if they even knew it was going to happen, but they did it anyway. And great art design. Yeah, all round fun. Like, they'd be a bit stronger if they had a bit cooler art design, but it's a TV budget and it looks fine. Like, it would look better at the time. And they definitely had sex. That's totally what happens. So, Picard has a bit of fun. I mean, B, I think this is a really fun episode that's silly and stands out, and yeah. And you feel chemistry between them, which is rare.
Yeah. Yeah. B it is. All right, and Sergeant Montgomery said higher ground. I think you mean the high ground. That's the terrorists.
Nope, not that one.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh, this one.
Yes. The one I'd never seen until Trekyards, because it wasn't on TV here.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's not a great episode, in my opinion. It's not a fun watch for me. I don't even remember the entire premise of it.
Terrorism or not. Good guys or not. And
Yes.
Beverly absolutely falls for the guy, not necessarily romantically, but like I agree with him. And you have I believe it's very not fascistic, but like power state by the main lady, who Riker kind of also likes, like appreciates, and then it gets more dark, and then the terrorist gets more light, but then there's terrorism at the end because that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, there's no easy answers. Both sides have good points.
It's a super grey episode. It's a really well done grey episode. I was like, oh, that wasn't fun, was it? There's a kill at the end of the phaser. God. Ooh.
Yeah, a lot of caves in this one. It's not.
But the acting, though.
Well, the acting's great. Like the actors they bring in are fantastic for this one.
And he has the most non-impressive look. The guy, you know what I mean? Something was very like bland.
Yeah.
But he does a really good job.
And the main lady, she's her look, her military dress is very Babylon 5 looking.
100%. Yeah, it's good though. It's a good look.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I remember liking this, what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
Although, boy, season 3 uniform guys got murdered. But not enjoying. It's very close to the bone, obviously. I think they think she's dead for the first half. If I'm right.
Yes, I think they do. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be high. It's got to be higher than a C, because I do remember being better written than things in C. But I think there's a chasm between this and what's in B. But I remember being really well made.
Yeah.
I'm not against moving some C's down to D, right? Like, this is where I think we started maybe a little bit too positive. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably better than. I mean, this is not one of my favorite episodes by any stretch, but I can appreciate its complexities. Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
I'll give you a slight skewing. You gave it a 6.5. I get 7.5. So that's higher than lots of these. I'm just saying. You get higher than Tin Man, but no surprise. Higher than Captain Holiday. Higher than Transfigurations. I won't go to that one. So you liked it decently, right?
All right, we can put it at C, and we'll move some of the C's down to D. How's that sound?
Yes. Yeah. That's what I think. I think we should move the. Oh, but then does D get to F by default? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think move the first 2 in C down to D and move D down to F, because now the lines are too blurred.
Well, yeah. I mean, the second one in C, I think it's an interesting idea, but yeah, that's not super memorable. So yeah, I think I'm fine with that.
Okay. Interesting chart. Next.
All right, Who Watches the Watchers? Still on.
Oh yes.
Fleet pause.
That was good.
It's a great episode.
It's a bit long, if I recall. It's not paced the best, but it's also like several stories in one. Of like development, you know, like they have to stop and appreciate her being on the ship, even though it slows the whole plot down, right?
Yeah, no, this I really like the Picard being worshipped as a god, even though he says he's not, and the misinterpretations of any primitive culture, kind of, even though logical, still kind of buying into it.
Are they logical? Or are they missing logic?
No, they are logical. That's one of the things.
Okay.
So it comes down to Picard getting shot, essentially. I love the undercoverness of Riker and Troy in it as well. The subcutaneous transponder things. And yes.
Good sets, actually. Pretty good set builds. They're not just the standard stuff.
And they built stuff at Vasquez Rocks for that.
And this doesn't just feel like Vasquez Rocks. They did a good job of, like, using the space.
Yeah.
Like, there's greenery here. You never see greenery in these things. Yeah. Actually, they do a thing.
Yeah, this is a fun episode for me. I really like the premise of it. The whole worshipping a deity thing. And Even though the deity says not to.
But they're in space. I mean, it's pretty deity-like, right?
Yeah, yeah. Again, good actors. We got the duck blind at the beginning of it as well.
Insurrection prequel.
Yeah.
And again, one of those moments that was in the DVDs, the VHS, you know, the fire in the arrow at Riker, at Picard. It was like a classic, like 5-second video clip. No, don't do it, Rob! And Stuntman gets hit with an arrow with a rather good throw. Stuntman. He's in a sling, Starfleet sling.
Yeah. For me, this is probably a B.
Yes, I was a gentle B. You know, doesn't excite me, but many good things. Yeah.
All right, Schmobuddy, $5. The most toys. A bit of a sad background with original Fajo, but it's another great Data episode. It is sad about the original actor, but at the same time, this actor is much better in the role. If you've seen the footage.
S. Sorry, I'm just gonna jump in there. I think it's really good.
It is a really good episode. Yeah.
Continue.
Very on T Disruptor. Did Data pull the trigger? Of course he did. Yeah, the acting's on point in this one. I really do like the guy they got for Fajo.
Famous sci-fi character actor. So many good things.
Yeah. Cool collection that he has as well, including baseball cards with this bubblegum scent still. Like just small little things you'd be like, oh, cool. Yeah, the way he treats his people is just atrocious. And I mean, I'd want to date it in my collection too, but to make him sit in the chair, that's not cool. Yeah. Also, the beginning, the destruction of the shuttle, putting in all the elements, polymers and stuff to make it look like Data actually died. And just the way that they solve that, I think is really cool. So this is a really good episode.
I remember I think the famous hard cut between Sergeant Picard with Picard being like, I love Data. Hard cut to this where Data blows up in front of him and Picard's like, all right, back on course.
That's a shame. Let's move on.
My friend, moving on. It's like, yes, that's how... Yeah. So the reason I say S on this is because it is unusual in a few ways. It's really dark, but in a very Trek way. It has a specific context, and it nails it. The performance of the actor is top notch. He is horrible but likable, dickish but venomous, murderous but nice. The set design basic is works. Brent really gets to, like, it's so racy a foil for Data, and he feels so one, mostly because he doesn't want other people to die. It's so Data's morality, because he could just walk in and break the guy's neck. And yet, right, there's lovely layers to that. And then you get the morning of Data dying, with the Tasha cameo, really strong, because it's real, right? There's a real death. We get to see how they actually react, and it's really sad, you know? Mm-hmm. The Veronti is obviously dramatic, and the it's a character study, right? Character study of two very unique people. And Worf in a Data's seat is just funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say S because it is so sharp, right? It similar to Defector, but this has a something about it. Just for me, just sings in a way that's just really special. I can obviously go for a high A, right? Like, but this is yeah.
No, I agree. I think it's probably an S. It's a very enjoyable episode to watch.
I think probably the end gives it the S because he probably, like, it's so much character development that's kind of crazy. It goes against everything Data is, but you understand it and believe it, and that's what makes it shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Wow.
All right, one more so far. Schmobuddy, $5. The Ensigns of Command. This is the Data and Romulan season.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yeah. This is with the Shellyak.
Yes. And if anybody wants to put in the one that's this guy, I'd love to talk about this one before we stop. I really like this episode. No one. Come on, guys. Right. Now I'm pandering. Right, back to you.
Yeah, stop it. This also has a little bit of the stank of seasons 1 and 2 on it, a little bit, with the set that they use. Yeah,
They
the
built a
Shellyak are on
city
their way.
set.
The Shellyak corporate are on their way. They need to get their planet back because we settled in one of their planets, and a tale as old as time as far as Star Trek goes. Let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a bit of a Data love story. I really remember the Shellyak stuff more than anything. Trying to find the loophole in the clause so that they can buy time and get these people off the planet. Because the people don't want to leave, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think Data loses his memory at some point, or is that different? Episode. That's the Iceman episode. Yeah, that's a different one. Yeah. But yeah, there's this lady that wants to leave the planet. Like, she's intrigued by Data, and she wants to leave, but the rest of the colony doesn't. We built that aqueduct, and da-da-da.
My father built the aqueduct. I'll defend it. And Data shoots it and destroys it. It's just an aqueduct. It's like, oh.
Yep. And
this is entirely dubbed, this actor, for some reason.
Oh, really?
If you recall, he was entirely dubbed. Yeah, this one, for me, is famous because, great Brent story. He's really good in this. Doing a solo officer. But yeah, shooting the aqueduct is a very famous scene. And it's so bold of Data to cause, criminal damage to a race he has no jurisdiction over. And potentially, and that's their entire water supply. They have no replicators. Like, he's basically killing their entire colony unless they move. It's like, shit, Data.
Sounds like something I would do in that situation. Because it's just like, this is the only answer, guys.
That's what I mean. It's a really powerful end. Yeah, the lady's great. You're right. She fancies him because she loves robotics and he's the epitome. That's really actually quite good. Shellyak design is phenomenal. It's iconic because it's just so different and alien, and they're really good. You use the shell set. I really use this for reference, as you can imagine. Good guest cast, great pace. I mean, they put money into this set. I think this is the first city set, and it looks nice. It's just like I say, it's just we see it as repetitive, right? And yeah, I mean, this is classic Trek, right? Classic Trek with a few bright sparks. And some great Troy as well, as I'm rewatching. She's helping him through it.
Yeah. For me, honestly, this one's probably a D.
Wow.
I'm not the biggest fan of this one.
I was going to say this is better than Stuff in C somewhat. This is going to be End of C, Touching B. Because it's better than Tin Man. It's better than Menage a Troy. I prefer it to the terrorist one. Because there's more elements I like. Like I say, Brent's great, she's great, Shellack's great, Picard's great, Troy's good, she has something to do. Goose to Shoal set, like I said.
Okay, B it is.
But no, we average out, right? So C is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
Cool. It's just a personal not favorite of mine. That's all.
Now, I think because I find it you agree. Let's see. Yes. Past you agreed.
Yeah. Just because I find it frustrating. Like, this is the only logical course of action, guys. Just.
But that's what dumb leaders are. They're dumb. There are many things happening in many parts of the world, even maybe right now, where this is similar. It's timeless, right?
Yeah.
You gave it, Stuart, a 5.5. I gave it an 8. So there's our clear disparity.
Sounds about right.
That was one of our biggest disparities of the whole season, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Fleet Paw, $5. Fine. The Hunted just for Samuel. I'll let you talk about this.
Rogue Dana, he's great. I love his look. I love his acting. It's Die Hard on a ship, but he actually wins. And you get to see all around the ship. You get to see the phaser trick. You get to see loads of cool things. And like I say, he outsmarts them the entire time. He's just an augment in essence, but without the arrogance, because they're enhanced super soldier people. And it's just a really unique look at the episode. And I think he was forced to be this, and it's a really he's also not the baddie, but they're after him for being a baddie, and it's just a whole lot of clever and very Star Trek. And at the end, he rebels and causes a coup, and then with a not said from Cochrane, and then Picard's like, yes, we'll totally
Yeah. It's one of the quick ending ones. It's just yeah, everything will be fine. You guys won't die. Bye.
mean, it's not their job to intervene per se, but it's very much like, that'll be fine. It's like, well, the president had a gun put to his face 37 seconds ago. I'm sure it'll be fine. But I think this guy's really good. I like his look and the vibe, and he beats out Worf. And it's just a cleverly written piece of how can a guy win against the Enterprise and you buy it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I don't think often of, honestly. But when we did rewatch it for a review, I remember really liking the diehardness of it.
Yeah.
You know, him doing stuff on the Enterprise to escape. Zefram Cochrane, of course, being one of the leaders of the planet. And yeah, we commented at the time that this is a very quick wrap up. It's like, yeah, now you're gonna have to play nice. Bye.
Well, it's because they commit the whole episode to the bit, which leaves no room for the wrap up. But it's not unsatisfying. It's just like, oof. Shit. Yep.
Yeah. I think there's even a line like, if they survive the night, everything will be fine as they're leaving. It's like, oh, okay, great, good. Yeah. Send a second contact.
We'll send, I was about to say send Cerritos. Now, I'll say it because it's our last one. You gave it a 6.5, I gave it a 7. I don't know if that plays in. Because I was going to say straight to B, because I think it's fun and original and interesting and good. And it way beats out C's.
It does beat out the C's, yes.
Like, there's not even a question on that.
Yeah, I think B's fine. Looking at everything that's in C, yeah. I would concur.
I just realised that as we are starting to close out, Sarek didn't get the up.
Oh, thank you.
That's okay. All right, how do you guys feel about our list? Let us know as we are now in the closeout segment. The poll said, is Season 3 the best of TNG? Yes, but by a slim margin at 56%. Interesting. What have you learned, Stuart?
That there's a there's a muddy delineation point between what I feel is holdovers from seasons 1 and 2 going into more focused and better scripts.
Focused is that's a good word.
So, the second half's much better than the first half this season. There's some very simple stories as well, which again feels very like it would be phase 2. Even though a lot of them weren't. So.
Now, this is not comparative to all TNG, but Season 2, we gave 5 S's to Season 1's 4 S's. But only 2 A's versus 6 A's. 2 B's to 4 B's. Many more C's, D's, and F's versus C's, D's, and F's here. So the skew push real. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's going to be more interesting as we go, because the next season's fantastic. Season 5 is almost perfect. Season 6.
Well, I think what we're going to start to see, because this is a hell of a skew positive, right? To have only 7 average or less of 26 is hella good, right? That's. I bet we're going to start seeing more D's and F's appear as we go. Like it'll be skewed like here and here, a lot less here. I'm going to guess.
Really?
Like there'll be more misses, but the hits will still be there. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what would be misses though. It'll be interesting to see where it goes because we're basing it on the episodes in the season, so
yes, and also memory on them, which is not necessary. Hey, Adrian, good to see you. Hope back from Vegas, okay. So when are we doing Season 4, Stuart?
Tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know if we have. I want to break up the week and do something different tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it Thursday.
And then we'll do this Season 4 Thursday. So
it's my dad's birthday tomorrow. So when we are live, you can wish my birthday, and we can tell him.
You can sing him happy birthday.
Yes, I'll make him watch that part of the stream. So yeah, tomorrow something on Trekyards.
So join us for that. And until then, thank you for joining us now. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And yeah, he's Commander Cocking.
He is Captain Foley. And you guys are amazing.
Yes, you are. And so are we.
Oh.